it's Ted Harrison time. Friend of yours and brother of mine. It's Ted Harrison's blog. Clears the air and lifts the fog. It's Ted Harrison's blog. He's a hairy son.
Hello, my name is Ted Harrison, and it is Friday, May 1st, 2009, and I'm taking this blog in a totally different direction than normal. I've recently come to the conclusion that there are a lot of people who view Christianity as a very ignorant idea or faith, and it drives me crazy when atheists and agnostics and other people who bash Christianity talk about how science has completely made Christianity irrelevant. That kind of general sweeping statement is actually what's ignorant. I'm not here to judge anyone, look down on anyone, think I'm better than anyone. I'm just simply stating what I've observed. Atheists and people of that nature continually and completely bashing Christians. I mean, calling them every name in the book. Just judgmental, terrible, horrible people. Well, in the same process, being 10 times more judgmental than any Christian ever has been. I'm sure on this very video right here, I will get a bunch of comments about how I am just a big idiot and have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just foolish for ever thinking anything could possibly happen that's beyond what science has grasped. Do I have all the answers? No, not at all. Do I believe that Christianity takes faith to believe in it in essence? Yes, I do. However, for all of you high and mighty, science-minded people, here are a few logical ideas behind Jesus, who is the center focal point of Christianity. In the Bible, there's the Old Testament and New Testament. The Old Testament looks towards the New Testament, which is based on the gospel of who Jesus Christ is. And in the Old Testament, there are over 300 prophecies on who Jesus is and about who he was going to be. That's a lot of prophecies, so let's break it down to just 8 of those prophecies. For one man to fulfill just 8 of those prophecies, the chances of it is 1 in 10 to the 17th power. Okay, for example, that's if you filled the state of Texas 2 feet deep in half dollars and you marked one of them with an X. Just one $50 with an X. Then you sent in a blindfolded man, and on his first attempt, he was going to pick out that X, the one marked with an X. That's the chances of one man fulfilling just 8 of the 300 prophecies. If that doesn't help you, there's not even 10 to the 17th power seconds in the entire history of the universe. Now let's double that. Take 8 prophecies and turn it into 16. For one man to fulfill 16 of those prophecies is 10 to the 45th power, which is a quattrodecillion. So it's 1 in quattrodecillion chances for one man to fulfill just 16 of those prophecies. How much? How about you create a ball of silver dollars 30 times the distance between the earth and the sun. Mark just one of those silver dollars in that gigantic ball with an X, and then send a blindfolded person in to pick it on the first try. So far, we haven't actually reached a point to where something is impossible, because it isn't considered impossible until you get to 1 in 10 to the 50th power. Now let's up the ante here a little bit. Let's go with 48 of the prophecies. For one man to fulfill 48 of them, it's the same chances as 1 in 10 to the 157th power. In case you're curious, that's now far beyond 1 in 10 to the 50th power. That's the impossible range, you know? It's past that now. To show an example of this, we'll use every atom in the universe. There are 10 to the 66th atoms in the universe. So let's make a giant ball out of all of those atoms. So 10 to the 66, all the atoms in the universe are now one giant ball. Okay, now that you have that ball, we're going to create one for every atom in the universe. Basically, we're squaring that. Now we're going to take all of these compilations of atoms that we've put together, and we're going to create that many for every second since the beginning of the universe. So that 10 to the 17th power that I talked about earlier, for every 10 to the 17th power, every second in between that, we're going to create that many at each level. Then we will continue to do that for another 100 billion seconds into the future. So now we're going to back out, and we're going to be able to look at a timeline that shows from beginning of time until the 100 billion seconds into the future. And we're going to pick just one of those seconds. And then when we picked one of those, we're going to go into that second and pick one of those 10 to the 66th times 10 to the 66th number of atomic combinations or balls or whatever in that second. And we're going to mark that one with an X, whichever one we decided on. Then we send in our lovely blindfolded friend and ask him to pick the correct second and then the correct ball on the first try. Not going to happen. All right, so let's keep in mind that this is only 48 of over 300 prophecies of Jesus in the Bible. He fulfilled all of them. Essentially, what all of this boils down to is that it is easier to prove the claims and existence of Jesus Christ than it is to prove that you or I exist. You see, what science does is it tries to explain things that really we can't explain. It tries to bring down the odds to the level of our mental capacity, when really science has proven that there are things that are just beyond our mental capacity. And what Christianity does is it says, bring on those odds, bring on the impossibilities, because our God is bigger than that. But as long as people continue to bash Christianity, they really are only being more closed-minded than they claim Christians are. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day.
He's a hairy son.